Welcome to the Infinite Podcast. My name is Carlos Andres Ruiz, and I am with my beautiful wife, Melissa Ruiz Vasquez. How are you today, Mel?
I'm great. You know,
You got the shorts out
it's
today.
Tuesday. Yeah, the weather is still nice. Loving it.
You got the shorts and the curls out.
Mm-hmm. Those are rare, both of them.
Yeah.
And just to tag on the hiding, like I forget. I told you this, but like in the winter, I forget that I'm hiding all of my
Mm,
skin art. Is that what they call
skin
it?
art.
Um,
You're hiding
all,
the skin art that's hiding your skin.
yep. Yeah. And I just forget until I have to wear shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, people don't know this about me.
How does that make you feel? You were telling me about it yesterday when we were leaving training. You're like, I don't know.
I think when working with kids, it makes me a little insecure, just because I'm like, I don't know how parents are gonna feel,
Yeah.
coaches are gonna feel about it. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, and like I know that I'm good with kids, and like I don't think kids care, but I think parents of kids care. And I think it gives a certain, there's a certain connotation to it, or I guess like a social thing around it. Because, my mom didn't really want either my brother or I to have tattoos. So I think that's just, you don't want to see, like, maybe parents are like, oh, I don't want my kids to want tattoos now because they see me wearing, or in having
You're wearing
tattoos.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wearing tattoos.
Honestly, when I'm asked about tattoos, I don't have any tattoos.
Hmm.
But there has been times where I've wanted to get tattoos,
Mm.
but I wanted to get it more the same way that like there's a really cool shirt that I want a shirt and I want to wear it once because it's like it adds to that outfit.
Hmm.
But but I don't know that I want to commit to one uh, permanently
Yeah.
as infinite as much as I love the word infinite. I don't know that the tattoo, but uh when I have considered it, I would love it in a place where I can see it
Hmm.
more often. Or I used to wear is it a anklet? Yeah, an anklet on my left foot that said "It is finished," which was
Oh.
the last words that Jesus said, and I would put it on my left foot because it's my weaker foot. So every time I step on the field, like he got my weakness, you know.
Hmm.
So that would be a phrase that I consider tattooing, but I never followed through. I don't think that there's good or bad or it says anything um, negative about the person. But if your kids came in and asked you, what would you tell them?
What would I?
I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo.
But I was thinking about this, and I guess my advice right now is just wait till you're 25, and then you'll see if you really wanted it or not.
That's a
Because
great advice.
yeah, but it's so much easier said than done. Because when you're young, you just want to do it. You're like, let's get it done.
If we have kids that are anything like me, they're gonna be like, well, how old were you when you got it?
And then I'm gonna say dinner is ready, and ignore them. No, no, that's yeah. My first one, I was 21. I was
Not 25 though.
not 25,
But
correct?
why did you pick 25?
Because that's when your brain is fully developed.
I think
So
that's a great answer for the kids.
yeah, I that's when your impulse control is fully
Hmm.
developed, and then you can decide
Yeah.
whether you really want it or
I
not.
think it's good that they would hear that it's not a no. And
Yeah,
it's not because
no,
I don't want to. It's like because I just want to make sure that you really want this.
yeah,
Um,
it's very permanent.
yeah.
And I always gave myself like, I could get rid of it if I want to,
Hmm.
but at the
Mm.
same time, like I know that it's very expensive and it's very painful
Mm.
to get rid of a tattoo. So like
Yeah.
that was just always like a backup type thing, but like when I was getting it, it was like, oh no, I know I want this and it's special to me.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make sure that all my tattoos meant something to
Yeah.
me, not that it's like a random Pokemon, and I don't even like Pokemon like that. Like that would be
Random
crazy. Like that would be wild. But like if I was obsessed and Pokemon meant a lot to me, and like I got Pikachu, like heck yeah, like go for it. I don't.
Yeah.
But hopefully you're past 25, because maybe if
Yeah.
you get it done at like 18, you're like, dude, what was I thinking? Because like my first one isn't even like that pretty.
Mm.
And like the lines, like the girl was very new, like so it just doesn't look as clean as it could have.
Yeah.
But anyways, how are you?
We're just gonna
Yeah, I don't know where that went.
tattoo conversation has ended.
No, it can proceed later, but
How am I?
yeah, I want you to
Um,
answer because you say I won't be asking you. So
I'm doing great. I love our new shirts. What are we gonna talk about today?
we're on our last word of the phrase.
We are on our last word of our phrase, and
Bittersweet.
do you remember the phrase? Can you give me the 6 words?
Absolutely.
Give them to me.
Of course. A plus. Help humans walk life hiding less.
Yes.
So we're on less.
We are on less, and so we've taken on a journey of these 6 words that I feel have invaded my soul, and this is how I step into the world in any domain, whether it's coaching, relationship, um, I don't know, whatever roles I play. But I choose these 6 words, and I think that each word has a universe of its own, and we've gone through 6 episodes of breaking down what each word has to do with the human experience and how they connect to our 3 principles of relational intelligence, character development, and emotional intelligence, which I was going to comment a little bit on because I thought your answer was so good with regards to the tattoos for the kids. And making the decision at 25, like I think it helps them work on their emotional intelligence and impulse control. And it's not that get it or don't get it. It's just like, well, if at that age you still want it, then it wasn't impulse. And your ability with relational intelligence to not just say no really makes it so that they process a question and they're not just taking an answer from somebody that I believe they're going to look up to.
Yeah.
So anyways, today we're going to talk about less. Last episode we talked about hiding. That was a good episode. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it or listen to it. We talked about how we're always hiding something. And it's not necessarily like, can we ever reach no hiding? No, but I do think that the word less is so important because it removes the pressure of like, well, am I ever not hiding something? And we're taught in school that, like, I remember in school that we would write first drafts and then we would go and edit with a partner. And never had I thought about that the editing process is in fact the hiding process because you want to make it as good as possible. But what you need to do is hide the things that you felt that first draft was affecting the goodness of it. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about how editing can actually be hiding, and we landed at a part that I think we should say again in this episode, which was find the people that love you without needing to be edited, and those are the people that you should have around you. And if you are gonna edit yourself, listen to those people. You know. So we're gonna talk about less today. But before we do that, we're gonna go into our warm up. I read the last one, so it's your turn.
Give me that. This is fun.
Uh-oh.
This is a fun one.
It's a fun one?
Yeah. Skydive or scuba dive?
Skydive or scuba dive? Scuba dive is which one?
When you go underwater with like, I'm pretty sure you have oxygen and like, you go in the water.
If I'm guaranteed
What are you?
that I'm not gonna die
Oh, yeah. There's never a
by getting
guarantee.
eaten by a sea animal,
A shark.
anything. It could be a fish.
It's like this big.
I think that it will be more thrilling to go under the water.
Wow.
Because I think there's a world that I don't exist in often. Like if I go to a roller coaster, I get a little bit of sensation, of what it is to, or when I'm on an airplane. I think the thrill is just that you're just fully going. Um, but there's less curiosity or less like even when we talked about the word walk, that the pace of skydiving is probably so fast, you
Yeah.
know. But the pace of probably being underwater is you get to enjoy what's around. So if I'm guaranteed that I'm not gonna die on either, I would go. What is it called?
Scuba diving.
Scuba diving. How about you?
Wow. Huh.
Did I change your answer?
No.
Okay. Wait, what was it?
I would like to do both,
Okay.
period. But preference?
Just skydive and land in the
Yeah,
water
right into the
and
water with all the equipment that I need. That would be nice. Um, I guess on initial like trigger, like I thought skydive because it must be. I think there's a huge adrenaline rush. I imagine, especially for myself, where I
Yeah.
consider myself like afraid of heights.
Mm,
Like I'm doing something that I fear, which is just free falling so high in the sky into, if worst case scenario, something doesn't work, it would just right into the ground. That's terrifying. But having a safety net or whatever, not safety net, a parachute, um, would make it more enjoyable for sure. And I'm afraid of heights, but I love like
Adrenaline.
views
Oh.
and adrenaline. Like I love like going to the top of a mountain or
Or views.
yeah,
Okay, yes.
yeah. I love the window seat on an airplane. Favorite spot.
Yeah.
If I don't get it, I don't want it. No, I'm just kidding. I still go, but like if I can make the choice, I'm taking the window seat every time. I love a sunset or a sunrise from that. But all to say that I just love the view from way up high. So I think for me that would be enjoyable. I don't know how much you can really enjoy the view while you're like kind of like tweaking because you're like falling.
It'd have to be like your fifth time that you already
Yeah.
got used to the scary part, and you get to actually look around.
Yeah. So
So you're sticking to skydiving?
on instinct, but I think I fear the ocean more than I fear skydiving.
I would agree with that. Me too.
There's probably some there's not probably there's some crazy stuff.
Joe, I saw a reel the other day
What?
that there was people that was, I think, shark watching, and so there's a cage.
Oh, the cage, yeah.
Yeah, and
I do that.
but the shark got in the cage.
How?
I don't know, but the people that were filming like caught how the shark got in the cage, and the guy that was running the boat and the event, or like the guy in charge, he was so scared because like it's his business,
sure.
and now it's on. I don't know that he knew it was
Like
on
you're
camera.
guaranteed safety, basically.
Yes, and there's a shark where the human is, and I don't know what the emergency buttons are, but they figured out how to get the shark out, and then they were just trying to figure out if the person was still in there, and the person came out like
Sano.
nothing.
Wow.
Yes. Can you imagine the person in there? Like if I didn't die from the shark, I would have died of a heart attack.
For real. They need a lottery ticket.
And
that
you should
day.
have seen the relief in the guy's face.
Oh
the,
my
The
gosh.
owner of the thing.
Not even because the person's okay, just because like, oh, my business is fine. Oh, my God. Which is a whole nother thing. But
that is wild.
that is crazy.
So I do think it's more scary to go underwater, I think.
There's so many more unknown variables. Like if you skydive and your parachute
What,
doesn't work,
now
that's
a
it.
plane goes by and boom.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
sure
think
that-
you're that high up.
I'm sure that that can't happen.
Yeah, I don't
But
think so.
what can happen is an animal in the water.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a bird could fly into you, but like,
Yeah,
I don't think enough to like
yeah,
cause a catastrophe.
yeah.
But that is an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So there's way more variables underwater.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not even just like sharks. There's like jellyfish and like
oh,
I'm not even gonna
don't
say
get into
the,
it. But
the
I
word.
do like I do want to see what, because there's life under there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much life there is up like in the sky, and so there's living things in there, and I would like to see. There's like animals that we haven't even found, which is crazy. So I would love to. That's why I would choose that one. But
That's a good one. I like to observe the animals too.
yeah,
You know, I love animals, so
yeah.
that would be nice
But I
to
don't think I
see.
would ever do it. I don't know that I have the guts.
Would you do skydiving?
I think skydiving I would do.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that answer.
So we're gonna talk about less.
Yes.
As we were talking about this conversation of skydive or scuba dive, scuba, that's
Scuba.
such a fun word. um, I was thinking about a talk that one of my favorite leaders gave, and he talked about how, what if um, the things that we create are because we're trying to reclaim a version of us that we once had? And what if there was a reality before things broke down in which we could actually fly or live underneath water? And um, and that made me think. Well, first, it can explain our curiosity towards, or I don't know if it's curiosity, but our desire to be in the air, you
Mm.
know, and our curiosity to go underwater and create like what are the boats that are submarines?
Mm-hmm.
Create submarines, and I wonder if this is just an extension of our soul, like longing to relive a version of us that we don't even remember, but our subconscious can, and and I'm always fascinated by what was the origin version of us that the more we progress in life, the less we became. And so when we talk about the word less, I wonder if the more that we have developed as human beings, we've actually become less um, textured, maybe. Which then takes me to, I don't know if you read The Alchemist.
No.
Um, uh, it was one of the books that I think Mr. Morse, somebody that I trusted, had
Mm-hmm.
me read. But The Alchemist had this line that really captured me, and it was, especially as an athlete, where you're trying to become the best version of yourself and be better and better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a quote, and it proposed like, what if the journey had nothing to do with becoming, but unbecoming, to a moment until you actually reach who you truly are.
Mm.
And what if that, in fact, is the greatest version of yourself? And I love that quote.
Yeah.
um, uh, Going back to our most original self, which then makes me almost anxious to the point of like, what have we turned into that is not really us? And and just to speak a little bit about the word less, I think when I write about these six universes that I that I see through these words, the phrase that came to me when I was writing about less is less of anything is more of you. And and so let's dive into it. Let's dive into maybe moments in which you have um, chosen less, but you've seen a version of you, or maybe in the time that you've gotten to know me, you get to see me in so many different arenas. Which are some places where you feel that I am the most authentic? I think that also shows which place um, demands less performative. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess for us specifically in our time together, we've had a lot of, I want to say career change, but like, I guess career setting change,
Mm.
because I guess the career we've chosen really hasn't changed,
Mm.
but where we and how we um, execute that has changed a lot. So I think you've been given the opportunity to be more authentic when it comes to creating a space of your own, because you're not worried about guidelines or
limitations.
Yeah, set by other organizations on you,
Hmm.
and what those expectations may be. You get to create them for yourself, and that just allows you to be more free in terms of what you get to do.
Hmm.
And the same is true for myself in the sense that I'm no longer at the job I used to be at full time, at least, um, and I still get to be part of it, but I get to be more authentic to what I think the career path I chose should be.
Hmm.
Um, again, without the limitation. I guess I'll talk less like broadly. I
Hmm.
think for people who like don't know me, since I'm an athletic trainer, I was working for a hospital, or I am working for a hospital, but the way I was working that job didn't allow me to do what I think the job should be. Um, just creating more relationships with the athletes I was working with was a lot more difficult because we were stretched a little thin, just because the needs or the demands are so high, but there were so little of us to
Hmm.
meet those demands because there's so many kids, and if we want to reach every kid, then we can't focus on a small group at a time. We have to spread ourselves so many different places in such little amount of time. So you can't really create the relationships that I think that are so important to providing the best care possible.
The more people you would have to serve by being in different schools, um, the less intentional you could be in your relationship with
Yeah.
your athletes.
Yeah. Like,
And and especially in the job that you do, um, not having a real relationship uh, intervenes in their process to being healthy again as an athletic trainer. And so if they see that someone that may be here, may not be here, and you would have to maybe prioritize uh, game days,
mhm.
which it's okay, but it just fractures the fact that, well, I can't be with the person that's rehabilitating. Um, it would just fracture it, you
Mhm.
know, and I think is, and no one to blame. Like
Yeah.
that's just how that has been set up. They're looking for safety on game day,
Mhm.
but it does affect the more that you're trying to cover, the less genuine relationship you have, and not for the sake, oh, it's amazing to have genuine relationship, but your actual effectiveness depends on how the person in front of you sees that you care for them.
Mhm. Yeah. So I think that change has created less less income, but more of what I think is
Hmm.
important, because now I have the liberty to create something that
Mm.
maybe will exemplify more of what I think
Mm.
that role should be.
Yeah.
Obviously, not specifically where I was, but I can provide that kind of care maybe in the future with a closer relationship, because I think
Hmm.
that's such a big part of
Yeah.
that job. I think
Yeah.
it needs to be more personal than it is just
Hmm.
get it done kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And I think just the phrase less income is something, I don't know if it's intimidating or it's not sexy, but less income means more something else.
Hmm.
And at least from my personal experience, when I have found myself in a scenario where there's less income, I am immediately pushed to more creativity,
Mm.
more boldness, more courage in putting those combined into more serving. And when I have less income, I was almost like, well, I got nothing to lose. I'm already
Yeah.
making less, so let me just double down on what I am choosing more of. And and I have felt that some of the projects that I do have been most successful when I've decreased my stable income
Mm.
and have put myself in a scenario where I have to find a way to be creative and fully create something that adds value, because if it doesn't, the income's not going to come. And when you have a stable income, you diminish or
You get
decrease.
comfortable.
You get comfortable and you decrease not just your creativity, but your drive or vigor to serve outwardly in a posture of excellence.
Mm.
Because if I got my paycheck, I could be, maybe I'll be a little less excellence today, and the direct deposit will hit.
Yeah.
Not and that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think you should diversify your ways to make income, but if it's so certain, I wonder if it is sacrificing your creativity and your drive to serve in a impactful way, and that brings me more life, to be able to serve. And all of when I look backwards into my journey, so many of the biggest blessings that I've come across have been from a moment in which I chose less. And it could be like a big moment of less, or just a simple, um, the reason I got recruited to go to Division 1 college was because I went to play pickup. And when you think about that, I was focused less on the logo. I was focused less on the coach that was gonna um, take me to the next level. I was focused less on how good the field may be. I just went to the purity of playing pickup. And in that pickup game, I ran into somebody that connected me to the next person that at the end was able to help me become um, a Division 1 player and get an education. So that moment of choosing less. And um, it was another moment in which I chose to leave club soccer, and I just decided to do less scale coaching and more intimate, and that's when Infinite Baller started. And I just went to watch one of my uh, mentees. I coach him, but like he's a friend and a mentee. I went to watch Luke, and I ran into a person who a conversation with them turned into a relationship with somebody who was gonna fund us in a way to just do pickup for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And had I not chosen less of a scaled point of view on my profession, I would have missed this one.
Yeah.
And it was more aligned with what I am, and so it wasn't easy, because you wanna or not you end up seeing the moments in which you make these connections and these people double down on you. But what you don't see is the fact that in that process, not only did I make a bold decision, but I ended up moving back to my parents.
Mm.
And try to tell somebody who just came out of college, like, oh, that's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should be making more. You got 2 degrees, and so that moment of choosing less, it's not necessarily immediately going to turn into, oh, you found the blessing. It's living in that less agony or discomfort or lack of clarity, that if you trust that that's going to pull out. I had nothing to lose with this guy. I was not talking with this guy trying to sell him anything. He just asked me like, what are you doing here? What do you do? And it just came out. It was almost like an interview that we didn't know was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned into something that has helped us. And it has turned out, actually, like a moment of less income has turned into more income in a way that is more aligned with what we organically do.
Yeah.
And the last one I'll share will be, I decided to not be in college soccer anymore, and I also decided to not be in club soccer. And so I took less of what would give me status. And the question that I would have to fight in my brain is like, well, if I'm no longer in college soccer or in club soccer, why would anybody come and purchase a service with Andres? And more of those things made it seem like people come to me because of those things, not because of Andres. And in that process, fighting that reality and going back to East Boston, I sacrificed all those things, but I ran into you. You know, I chose less of these things that added status, but I found my wife or she found me. And had I not chosen less in those moments, I would not have found the person that I'm gonna share the rest of my life with and hopefully have kids. Um, and so there's something about choosing less that it's not necessarily sexy, attractive, or easy, but it takes you to a more authentic version of you that's what Earth needs of you and the people around you. And that will, in the long run, I choose to believe, will not just bring more, but unveil you, who you really are. Um, I went for a lot of stories and a lot of talking, but I am passionate
Yeah.
about these things.
I think it's when we well, I remember one of the speakers that we really like to listen to said that whenever you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like a lot of the times the whenever we say yes to ourselves, we're saying a lot of no to like things that don't feel like ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm saying yes to being more authentically myself, I'm saying no to so many things that don't feel authentically myself. Like you were just talking about so many examples where you said no to things that didn't feel like it was meeting your authentic self. And like in my example, I also felt that it wasn't meeting my authentic self. So we're saying yes to trying to live as authentically as possible. And we're saying no to the things that don't let us do that. So I guess because I don't feel in my situation that they're necessarily unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like what was going on. I think there's some parts of the job that are definitely unhealthy because it's a lot of there's a lot of talk about work-life balance, especially in athletic training, and I think in coaching, part of that too. There's a lot of expectations of driving so many places and doing so many things off the clock. You know what I mean? So it's saying a lot of no to things that don't allow us to be as healthy as possible.
Yeah, and what I don't want to propose is that you just walk into the world and just like I'm gonna just take less of everything, and I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna talk to less people. That's not it's not an equation, but I do think it's a principle that if you approach it to find yourself rather than to find more, I think you're gonna land at a very meaningful place.
Yeah.
And so I think being able to make that clear that saying less is not for a transaction of a beautiful outcome. Is the most beautiful outcome you can get is just knowing yourself more. And we can get caught up in so much that we're actually just continuing to say we want less of ourselves. And that's dangerous, in my opinion, because I think I do think that we have the capacity to go and add value in every space, regardless of our expertise, just based on our human experience, and balance that with, yes, your expertise, but if you depend on your expertise, you're less of you and more of engineering, you're less of you and more of soccer player or more of coach. And when you were put into this world, you were none of those, you know. And when you leave this world, you're also none of those. You are a human that came and a human that left. And it would be sad to come and go and nobody know who you actually were, which is why I think less is an important principle in these six. So we'll finish there. Anything, and again, I think this is the question that I'm gonna run with. If you're gonna teach our kids something with regards to the principle of less of anything is more of you, what would you say to them? Don't get tattoos.
Yeah. Wait till you're 25 to do anything. No, I'm just kidding. um, no, I think if saying yes to something feels like it's not aligned with who
Mm.
you are, then you got to change that yes to a no,
Mhm.
because you should always say yes to being your most it's so hard to say that.
Mhm.
Your most authentic self. Most
Mhm.
authentic
Most
self.
like that's actually your most authentic.
Yeah.
So you should always say yes to.
Your your most authentic self.
Um,
Yes. Yeah. Your
yes,
most authentic self.
yeah, and that is easier said than lived
Yeah, absolutely.
in
Especially as you're younger.
yeah, yeah. Um, because we wanna fit in and be loved. Um,
What about you?
what about me? What
Yeah.
about me?
What would what's up? No, I'm just kidding. What would you say to our kids
To our kids, my God.
in regards to less?
Uh, in regards to less, what would I say to our kids with regards to less?
Say it to the camera.
Say
We'll
it to
just
the
give it to
camera.
them.
Say it to the kids.
We won't parent. We'll just play the podcast.
Go listen to the podcast. You need less of us.
So we give them more.
What would I say? From this conversation, um, I would tell them to not be afraid to um, choose different. Um,
Mm.
and sometimes less will seem like the not common decision, but but if they feel like they are loved and have something to contribute, um, it doesn't even matter what you choose because nothing outside of you can define you. Um, so I would say be less concerned about your decision being right or wrong, and just knowing that you're making your way to learning more about yourself. Um, and if you're not learning more about yourself constantly, uh, you're probably doing too much.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think I'll run with that. Okay, we have landed at the final word of help humans walk life hiding less. We'll see what we talk about next. I'm not sure, but I felt like that's something that we needed to talk about. Um, Thank you so much for listening, Mel. Thank you so much for uh, riding with me and being part of all these 6 words you bring to life in my reality. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I love you, and we'll see you guys next episode.